What's the most insane family secret you casually leaked without realizing it was totally unhinged? For me, it was the 2 a.m. burials. Since I was 6 years old, my family moved around a lot. I'm talking a new city every 2 years. And every single time we packed up a house, the night before we handed over the keys, my dad would wake me up at exactly 2 a.m. No lights on, no talking. He would just walk into my room holding this heavy, rusted iron lockbox. It was about the size of a shoebox, but it honestly felt like it weighed 40 pounds. He'd hand me the box. Then he'd hand me a dirty shovel. We'd go out to the backyard in dead silence. He would stand on the back porch, arms crossed, just watching in the dark while I dug a 3-foot hole in the dirt and buried the box. I never asked what was inside. I honestly just thought it was a normal thing families did, like some weird, superstitious, leaving the old house behind ritual. I wasn't buying into the creepiness of it, I just thought it was boring. Fast forward to my sophomore year of high school. We were moving again. My best buddy, Tyler, wanted to throw this massive goodbye party for me the night before we left. I told him I couldn't make it. He asked why. I shrugged and casually said, I gotta do the 2 a.m. burial thing with my dad. Tyler just stopped dead and stared at me. The what? So I explained it. The wake-up call, the heavy iron lockbox, the shovel, digging in the pitch black. Tyler's face went completely pale. Yeah, it gets worse. See, Tyler's dad was a literal detective for the county. Tyler went home and told him everything, fully convinced my family was burying stolen cash, or drugs, or worse. The next morning, moving day, I woke up to the sound of aggressive pounding on our front door. I looked out the window and saw 3 squad cars parked on our lawn. Officers were already walking around the side of the house. That's when it hit me. I wasn't just a kid doing chores. I was an active accomplice to whatever felony was in those boxes. The cops stormed the backyard with shovels. My parents were pulled into the living room looking absolutely terrified. My dad was physically shaking, refusing to speak. But that wasn't even the worst part. 10 minutes later, the cops brought the mud-covered box right into our kitchen. They took a crowbar and popped the rusted lock right in front of us. I held my breath, waiting to see evidence that my dad was a cartel boss. But inside, it was just hundreds of scratch-off lottery tickets, none of them scratched, and a single, folded, yellowed piece of paper. Turns out, my dad had a crippling gambling addiction right before I was born. It almost destroyed our family. Every time we moved to a new city for a fresh start, whenever he felt the urge to gamble, he'd buy the tickets, but force himself to lock them in the box instead of playing them. Burying the box at the old house was his way of literally burying his demons before stepping into our new life. The note was just a reminder to himself of why he stopped. The cops looked at each other, apologized, and quietly left the house. I looked over at my dad. He was sitting at the kitchen table staring at the mud, and I finally understood why he always cried on moving day.